Sup, my guys? What if I told you that talking to your opposite audience is actually the most powerful content and way to sell? If you haven't watched my video on personal brand archetypes, click somewhere. But in this video, I'm going to run through how to talk to your opposite archetype and why it's so damn powerful. So with that, let's jump into it. So first off, why is it so powerful? It's because your brand can resonate with the tension between your archetype and that of your audiences. Think outlaw serving the everyman. The average office worker wants a damn Harley to feel like he's a little bit of a rebel sometimes. The sage serving the hero, the wisdom of the sage delivering to the hero's journey. Think like Yoda and Luke Skywalker. Or the lover serving the creator, that muse and artist relationship, the beauty for the creator to mold his artwork of. When you know both sides, you can design your offer, your content, and your visuals that creates that magnetic tension. Because it's when they see a small piece of themselves in you and you can take them there. So to bring up your speed real quick, here is the brand archetype wheel, the 12 different archetypes, and how you can see sometimes there's opposites to them. And now we're going to go through some personal brands that speak to the opposite archetypes. So let's go through these 6 examples, and then I'm going to give you the framework that you can apply to talk to your opposite archetype. So first off, as an explorer archetype, we have Bear Grylls. So here's the explorer, and his audience, opposite audience, would be the everyman. The dynamic is he gives ordinary people a safe doorway into adventure. He speaks with warm, humble, no intimidation. He makes extreme environments seem achievable. He focuses on character and not just skill, and he uses we a lot instead of just I. He influences people through adventure becoming emotionally accessible to people. Fear becomes normalized rather than shameful, and discovery becomes something that everyone can participate in. And now, how do you monetize all of that to an opposite audience? So everything he sells is essentially adventure made safe for normal people, right? He has TV shows, books, survival academies, brand partnerships. You buy a little knife from Bear Grylls and you're a bit of a badass like Bear Grylls now, and speaking gigs. Next, we have David Goggins as the hero. Now, you don't have to only speak to one opposite audience because he's actually speaking to the everyman, the innocent, and the jester. And the way that this dynamic looks is he gives softer, more comfort-seeking archetypes a jolt of discipline, identity, and responsibility. The way that he speaks, he's very blunt. There's no sugarcoating. He uses very simple, aggressive languages. He talks about discipline, and he frames his moral as you're lying to yourself, stay hard, earn it, all the Goggins stuff. And now, how does he influence 3 different archetypes? To the everyman, he makes toughness feel achievable and just don't be a little bitch. The innocent, he gives them the rules and the clarity and the moral center to just follow and align themselves with. And then to the jester, he breaks that avoidance and forces them to be serious with themselves. And then the main theme is across all 3, he gets them out of their comfort zone. With a similar monetizing strategy to Bear, that's through books, speaking gigs, brand collabs, his challenges, and then monetizing his social media. As a green sage, we have Jordan Peterson, and his audience is going to be the hero. The dynamic is that he gives ambitious but directionless people a structure and meaning to follow. And now, not to be confused with the magician here, where he's not going to take them there, but he's just going to give them the structure for them to go and execute themselves. He speaks with clear, ordered, analytical thinking. He uses frameworks and philosophy. He offers precise language for people who feel chaotic. There's no hype. It's all just discipline and strategic guidance. He influences ambitious people to make them organize their lives. He turns potential into responsibility and gives them a rational tool for their emotional problems. And now, how does he monetize it? That's through books. It's through his lecture tours and talks. He has online courses, his podcasts and YouTubes, both his own and going on other people's, consulting, and then any kind of paid membership on platforms. Now, Rick Rubin, this is a really interesting one for me because he's a creator. And yes, he's speaking to a creator archetype. However, the opposite or a certain type of creator archetype. And in this case, he's speaking to creators that are rulers and heroes. So the dynamic is he gives high achieving people the inner clarity and truth they need to get more out of themselves. So think him working with rulers and heroes like Kanye and Jay-Z, where that's their archetype within the creators, but he is being the creator for creators that are rulers and heroes. He speaks quiet, slow, and spacious. He uses metaphors and his intuition a lot. He strips away any kind of complexity, and he never asserts dominance. He just holds his own presence. He influences by calming ego-driven rulers, and you can see that with the two examples that I gave. He helps heroes create without performance pressures, and he unlocks brilliance by removing the noise of expectations. And how he's monetized that is with his production fees, long-term royalties, documentaries. I've said that word about 4 times now when I'm running this script, and I fucked it up every time. But you know what I mean, right? He's a creative advisor and he partners with different platforms. So let's look into the ruler of Leila Hormozi. So she's a ruler archetype and speaks to an everyman, a hero, and like aspiring entrepreneurs. And I know that that's not an archetype, but aspiring entrepreneurs are typically heroes or everyman. She gives them structure and systems to people that feel overwhelmed with the growth as they're coming up. And she speaks very clearly, authoritative. There's no hype, just her systems. And she's very calm and direct, like direct leadership energy. She influences through giving overwhelmed people stable foundations and turns their chaos into clear and clean executions. And the way that she's monetized this is with acquisition.com, where it's like acquiring these up and comers and working with them, her courses and educational content, and then all her speaking and consulting. And our final example is Mr. Jack Black, the man. So his archetype is he's the jester, obviously, and his audience is the everyman, the creator, and the innocent, again with the 3 different audience types. And his dynamic is he gives everyday people the permission to be expressive, weird, and joyful without any sort of self-judgment. The way that he speaks is all very over-the-top energy. It's physical humor, it's exaggerated, it's pure just playfulness, right? And he influences where he helps people reconnect with their childlike joy. You know, he's just a silly dude. He normalizes silliness and self-expression. He pushes creativity and he breaks down seriousness with just being absurd. And the way that he's monetized this is films, his Tenacious D music, which is 10 out of 10, YouTube content, other brand deals, and then his live performances and tours. Okay, so what's a framework that you can apply to talk to your opposite archetype? You want to identify what your archetype is first. So again, go and watch that video and find out who you are. Then you need to identify what your opposite archetypes is. Now, this could be 1 or 1 to 3 different ones. You don't want to talk to all of them. There will be an obvious 1 to 3. What characteristics do they lack or naturally struggle to produce themselves that you can give a piece of yourself and take them there? Then you want to build the product to specifically remedy these character pain points. In your marketing, you want to speak to these specific characteristics that they lack and that you have and how you can take them to there. So if you guys take that framework and apply it to your brand, you'll be able to unlock the power to sell and talk to your opposite archetypes. So if you think, oh, Luke, I have a really small brand, this doesn't apply to me, I want to tell you you're wrong. Click Nya somewhere and watch my video on how even small brands can make serious money if you have your brand dialed in. Catch us there.